This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
A day to remember. Charles McAwee and Lisa Sugar share personal stories of loved ones who served in the military and talk about local Memorial Day traditions. Happy Memorial Day. I'm Ken Kara, and thanks for watching us in HD on Service Electric Cablevision Channel 513 and in SD on Channel 13. And remember to subscribe to the SSPTV YouTube channel. These are your Memorial Day headlines from SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. Today is Memorial Day. On this, the last Monday of May, we honor the brave men and women who died while serving in the United States military. Memorial Day was originally known as Decoration Day. It became an official federal holiday in 1971. Today, many Americans will visit cemeteries and participate in parades. Our Lisa Sugar talks with local historian Charles McAwee about how these traditions came about.
Earlier today, on this Memorial Day, so many communities in our viewing area held special programs and parades. It is an area that is truly rich in tradition. And to talk about those traditions, we thought it was only appropriate to bring in our dear friend Charles McAwee, Vice President of the Board of Directors for the Greater Hazleton Historical Society and Museum. This is so rich in tradition, this area. We've talked about this on other occasions as well, and especially true on Memorial Day.
Yes, on Memorial Day, we're remembering those who died serving our country in the armed forces during so many wars that mark our history. And it is a strong tradition here in Hazleton, and of course that tradition is the laying of the markers to mark the graves of those who served in the armed forces, who fought for our country. And you see those ubiquitous logs with the flowers in them. They line the cemeteries of like Calvary, St. Gabriel's, Vine Street, all over the area. And it's a really special holiday, and one that's also actually personal to me. Because my grandfather, Charles McAwee, his nickname was Tess, he was commander of St. Gabriel's Catholic War veterans. So from the end of World War II and until he passed away in 1988, he commanded that, and that was his tradition to lead the Catholic War veterans through Calvary, through St. Gabriel's. They'd lay the markers on the graves, have the gun salute. And he was always involved in veterans affairs since the end of World War II. His mother had passed away, and his father was a miner. So when he went off to World War II, there was nobody to see him off. And he and his 4 brothers actually fought in combat and survived. And there's an amazing story from the Plain Speaker during World War II, in one half-double house on South Cedar Street. On one side were the 5 McAwee boys who went off to World War II, survived, and the other half were the Jordan brothers who went off, fought, and survived. And in that single block, there were 19 men who served in World War II. Unbelievable stat, just one small block. But so when he came back, he made it a tradition for all future draftees, whether it was Korea or Vietnam. He would start at the railroad station and then continue at the bus station. Nobody saw him off, so he wanted to make sure that he was there to see the draftees off to fight. So they would be greeted by him, and he'd have a lucky charm or a prayer book and give those to him with a guy named Dr. Blum. And they'd see all these men off to war. So for a lot of men who served in the armed forces, who were in the draft, who went to Vietnam, my grandfather was one of the last people they saw before they got on that bus or that train. So just a reminder that it's really important to mark this holiday and to remember not only those who died fighting for their country, but to also remember those who also served.
Absolutely, and what your grandfather did, we now have ceremonies when the troops are being deployed or what, to give them a good send-off, and a lot of their families and that are there. And of course, welcoming home, just as important these days, that when the troops come home, it's nice to welcome them back, whether it be in their community or through a group welcome. So that's nice. So that's a tradition that kind of was started a long time ago, and I guess that was embedded in your fiber as well, because you know a lot about tradition, and you respect the service and all of our armed forces, and so I guess that was kind of taught to you at an early age.
That's true, and yeah, he was very involved in Hazleton. He was on city council. He was involved in so many volunteer organizations, March of Dimes, you name it. And And yeah, hearing those stories and what he did, and I mean, yeah, it's been an inspiration, and really one of the big reasons why I'm involved.
I think it's a big reason why so many people in this area are involved, because there were a lot of families like that. Mine included. My dad served in the United States Navy, Joe Regazzi, grew up as a commander. When I grew up, he was a commander of the VFW in that, and you always, knew about going to the parades, going to the ceremonies. You knew that they were doing the gun salutes at the cemeteries, and that was kind of in our fabric of who we are in this area. And it's true for so many people, and I think that's why we still see to this day the ceremonies at the cemeteries and the parades and everything else, because this is a truly patriotic community.
Thank you, Lisa and Charles. Well, after you've attended your local ceremonies, why not gather up the family and head out to the Laurel Mall for some carnival fun? Powers and Thomas Entertainment and the Laurel Mall present the Spring Fling Outside Carnival now through June 3rd. And this is the 6th of 10 nights where you can enter to win a family 4-pack of wristbands for the carnival. That's a $100 value. Call us now, 570-459-9813, extension 108. We need your full name, town, and phone number, and we'll draw one lucky name at random from the entries this evening. You can only win once every 30 days at SSPTV. The Spring Fling Carnival happening now through June 3rd at the Laurel Mall. On this Memorial Day, our Janine LaSanta is here with another music segment, this time talking about a band with local ties.
Here at Mohegan Sun Pocono, and if you didn't notice, the river moved location, still located in the Mohegan Sun, but down the hall a bit from, I believe, Rustic Kitchen?
Bar Louie.
Bar Louie. Okay, so join us at Bar Louie on the wing going outside. I'm with Alan Stout, and he's been the host of Music on the Menu for 25 years now. We're highlighting some of his most memorable moments.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of them that, could stick out in your head, but share a little bit of some of the memories, the most memorable that you can think of right now.
Well, it's 25 years ago. It was in '93 that I discovered the Badleys. I was at the Times Leader, and I got their record, The Unfortunate Result of Spare Time, in the mail from their manager, and I couldn't believe how great this record was. I couldn't believe how good these songs were, and they were from the guys from Selinsgrove, like 45 minutes, an hour away. And I start going to see them, and I start writing about them. And there was so much momentum behind the band at the time. It was very exciting. I mean, people, it's a cover band town. It was then, and it still kind of is. It's hard for someone to do their own music in nightclubs and grab people, and they were just grabbing people. More people coming out all the time. More people wanted to hear their own music. And over the course of the next year or 2 years, I was writing lots of stories about them for the newspaper, and I got to be, friends with the guys, and I was rooting for them, and to see them, play in Jitterbugs in Edwardsville and have a CD release party in March, and then in October see them open for Robert Plant and Jimmy Page in front of 18,000 people. And these guys, at that point they were my friends. I mean, they had been over to my apartment. I had a party for them when they got their record deal, and I remember Pete Palladino was on stage in Buffalo Memorial Auditorium. And he said, we'd like to thank Robert Plant and Jimmy Page for having us here tonight. And he's like, that was really cool, and
so you followed their career from
from the beginning
to
see
fame.
them have. And they actually came over to my apartment one night when they were playing at Jitterbugs, because they had to pick out directors for their video.
Okay.
And they had all these directors that had sent them VHS tapes of videos, and they're looking for a style. And so that was kind of neat. We're just sitting around watching videos and talking about what they were going to do for Angelina's coming home. And then a couple months later, I'm at the shore on vacation with my family in a condo in Ocean City, Maryland, and I see the video come on VH1.
That's crazy.
And these are the guys that are sitting around my apartment a couple months earlier looking at for directors.
That's
so
surreal.
Those are my favorite memories, really, because it's about music. It's about music I really believed in.
They were local?
Yeah, but yet there was a personal, there was definitely a personal aspect to it.
Yeah.
I was rooting for them
and
big
you're
time.
still on the radio each week, Music
and I close
on the
the show
Menu?
with them every week. That's our tradition.
How about that? That's right, you do.
Yeah.
And when can people hear your radio show?
Sunday nights, 9 o'clock on the river.
Thanks, Janine. And coming up next, our Troopers Corner segment with the Pennsylvania State Police, and later a round of Know Your Teammate with Hazleton Area High School Girls Lacrosse. This is SSP TV News, your place for 24 hours of your hometown news and information.
This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Trooper David Peters, Public Information Officer for the Pennsylvania State Police, Troop N in Hazleton, is here with us once again, talking about a very serious issue, and that is safety everywhere. In a world, unfortunately, of mass shootings, and we've been seeing way too many, you've been called upon by many organizations to take a talk to them on how to stay safe. So we'd kind of like to give a little brief course like that right now for our viewers.
Awareness, having a plan, whether that's an organization that has a safety plan to deal with major incidents or crisis incidents. How about how many people have a incident for their own house? If there was a fire in their house, how would they just get out? But knowing where your exits are in your house when you go out shopping, knowing where entrances and exits are at malls, restaurants, having a general plan to escape some type of violence if you were thrust into that situation. Our unit here, the community service unit, we've had some training in regards to active shooters, making people aware of what to expect in certain situations, but also assisting them with developing plans if they don't. We've been to many houses of worships, nursing facilities, as well as doing drills with schools so they can better test the plans they have in place. So they might be prepared for an incident such as that. But again, everybody, when a shooting like that occurs, everybody becomes heightened awareness with a sense of security, and call for our type of assistance. And we provide a lot of different ways to help them with their emergency plans. But again, an emergency plan is only words on paper unless someone's literally, testing that plan. How about fire drills? We do that quite often in schools. I've never seen a fire drill take place at a mall, like somebody just did a drill. Only if there was a real fire. So I mean, situations like that where most people aren't prepared, where are the entrances and exits? That's what we try to make people aware. Where are you most vulnerable, and how do you, what we would refer to as a soft target, a mall, which is something that's open to the public and inviting and things like that, where most people have a sense of security. How do you make yourself a little bit more hardened so no one would want to come in there and do such a thing? Whether that's armed security, walking throughout the malls, how prepared are your stores in those opportunities to shut down in an instant if there was live gunfire?
So if people watching this today are part of an organization, and I know churches are doing this, like you said, schools are doing this, if they want to have you come in and talk with them about it, what do they do?
They can just call us, community service unit at Troop N, call over to Hazleton Barracks and myself and Trooper Petrosky. I mean, we'll sort of speak to you in regards to what you're looking to do and your facility. Everyone's unique. A mall doesn't maybe necessarily have the same security protocols as a school or a hospital or places of that nature. It's really just evaluating yourself. Are you prepared if someone came into your facility and did something? How would you best prepare and protect those that are inside that building?
And I guess the other part of this as well is if you are somewhere and you see something that looks a little out of kilter, a little suspicious, you should tell somebody.
Yeah, I mean, awareness, again, always the key. If something doesn't feel right in your gut, it's usually not right. And you see that person who maybe is acting suspiciously, and it could be for a lot of reasons, at least bring it to someone's attention and either let, if the mall security or someone like that is charged with the safety of that building, investigate that, or call police and let us come and investigate that situation to see whether they need, medical assistance or are they, again, about to commit a crime.
All right, great advice. Thank you so very much. If you would like to learn more for your organization, please contact Trooper Peters at the Pennsylvania State Police Barracks at Troop N in Hazleton.
Today's special holiday program is being brought to you in part by Valley High Food Drive-In, Route 93 in West Hazleton, the area's oldest ice cream and fast food restaurant. Stop in today for some delicious ice cream or try their no sugar added soft frozen yogurt with flavors like vanilla, strawberry, and strawberries and cream. They also serve burgers, hot dogs, fries, and much more. Treat yourself today for daily hours. Call Valley High at 570-455-5362, and don't forget to like them on Facebook. Now it's time for our weekly feature Law Tips on SSPTV News.
My name is attorney Alexis Falvello. I am currently of the Falvello Law Firm, and we are located in Cunningham, Pennsylvania. My firm has been serving the needs of the Hazleton area since 1923 when my great-grandfather graduated from law school. It is important for not only my family, but also for this firm to contribute to the Hazleton and surrounding areas. Our firm does that not only through donations, but we also do it through our actions. I'm currently a member of the CVCO board, that's the Cunningham Civic Organization. I'm also a member of the United Charities Board. I'm also a member of the board for Ryan's Ride, and I am also a board member for the Hazleton Chamber of Commerce. It is important for our family to give back to a community that has given so much to us with respect to not only, clients, but friendships and the family sense of community that this Hazleton area has to offer us.
Time now for sports on SSPTV News.
Hi everyone, I'm your host Ken Kara. Let's meet our contestants, both from the Hazleton Area High School. Laura Basic is heading to Wilkes University to play lacrosse and field hockey. She wants to be a lawyer when she's done. And Malia Holtz will play lacrosse at Gwynedd Mercy University, where she'll study to be an occupational therapist. They've been teammates on the Lady Cougar lacrosse and field hockey teams for a long time and feel like they really know each other. Well, let's see. First up, Laura, what is Malia's signature lacrosse move?
Definitely, a face dodge or roll the crease.
If you had to pick one.
That's definitely the face dodge then.
Okay. Was she right? Face dodge, am I saying that right?
Yeah, face dodge.
What is that?
You just go up to the opponent and go like this and break their ankles.
What a start for Laura, and we're giving her an extra half of a point for her genuine enthusiasm after Malia's response. Now Malia, what's Laura's signature lacrosse move?
Running one-handed down the field full speed and taunting other players so they can't get the ball.
All right, and I guess there would be no name for that. Would you call it the basic? Or
Yeah, the basic.
Okay. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
How and when did you start doing it?
I definitely just started it this year because I don't like when people touch me, so I just run really fast holding my stick so they can't get the ball.
Okay. And then the taunting end of it? I mean, just,
All right,
not really taunting, it's more of a you're not going to get this on.
I got called once for that, and I wasn't even doing that to them, so they make fun of me for it all the time now.
That's right, Malia, and here's Laura showing off the basic special at lacrosse practice. Question number 2. If you had to describe Laura in one word, what would it be?
Loud.
Loud?
Very loud.
And why do you say that?
When you're on the field, all you hear is Laura. When you're at practice, all you hear is Laura. That's pretty much it.
Loud?
Yeah, pretty much.
Loud, the Laura Basic story. Okay, were you always like that? I mean, you grew up, you had brothers, you had...
Yeah, I guess you could say I was always loud. I didn't just pick this up.
Does it help you, though? You said you like being a leader and that. I mean, does it help in that way?
Yeah, because I feel like it makes me more stern. If you're quiet, you can't really be a leader. You have to be stern and loud,
Malia is 2 for 2. Let's see if Laura can keep pace. What's one word to describe Malia?
A team player.
Team player.
Mm-hmm.
Teamy. Team.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. It might be a few words. Teamy, would you agree?
Yeah.
How and why? Were you always like that? Just all about the team? And...
Yeah, I feel like it's better. You feel better when in a game, instead of me scoring, you just feel better if the other person scores, giving that person that feeling.
And you score a lot, so I mean it's so when you see the other girls getting involved, you have a sense of pride in that.
Yeah, I just think it's better. I feel a sense of accomplishment getting an assist rather than a goal.
And you'll find out Malia was one of the first in the Lady Cougar lacrosse program, one of 2 players who had experience when they started the program here. So I guess it does mean a lot when you see maybe some of the younger girls you helped almost coach up to that start excelling.
Yeah.
So Laura gets another point, and let's give Malia a half of a point for helping get the Lady Cougar lacrosse program off the ground. We're tied at 2.5, and it all comes down to this round. Malia, what is Laura's favorite post-game food?
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets from McDonald's.
The McDonald's?
Okay.
No.
Oh, there's a lot of anger over here. Wow.
Why?
Wow. Glad this happened at the end of senior year. What would it be?
A quesadilla from Taco Bell.
The judges are giving Malia a half of a point because chicken nuggets are actually Laura's favorite post-game food during field hockey season. Now, Laura also got half a point for her answer to this question. Malia, by the way, enjoys a mini thick crust sweet sauce pizza from Angelo's in Wilkes-Barre. So what does this all mean? Well, Malia and Laura tie, and the real winners are all of you at home for getting to know these local athletes a little better. And that's it for this round of Know Your Teammate.
It's the last Monday of the month, and this is Trivia Treats. Hi, everybody. And since this is Indy 500 time, why not throw out an Indy 500 trivia? Well, we will. 36 years ago, in 1982, Gordon Johncock crossed the brick finish line at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway just 16/100ths of a second ahead of fellow American Rick Mears to win the Indy 500. With 13 laps to go, Johncock held a commanding lead of 12 seconds, but his car began handling poorly. Mears made up ground and was 1.8 seconds behind with 3 laps remaining, and then 0.8 seconds behind with 2 laps to go. As they headed for the final lap, Johncock and Mears were literally side by side, but as they crossed, Johncock barely withstood the challenge by less than a quarter of a second to win his second Indy 500. Mears won that race in 1979 and again in 1984, 1988, and 1991. Now let's go back to one of the greatest games in NBA history. The Celtics outlasted the Suns 128-126 in 3 overtimes at the Boston Garden in Game 5 of the 1976 Finals. With 2 seconds left in the second OT, Boston's John Havlicek sent a running jump shot through the hoop for a 112-110 lead. Fans rushed the floor to celebrate, and it took 10 minutes to clear the court. On the subsequent inbounds play, Suns forward Garfield Hurd threw in a long jumper to tie the score at 112-112. There was no three-pointers back then. The third overtime period was played with fans standing around the perimeter of the court, and play was interrupted several times. But the Celtics won to take a 3-2 lead in the series. 2 nights later, Boston will win the NBA championship in Game 6 with an 87-80 victory in Phoenix. Finally, switching to baseball. 5 years ago in 2013, the White Sox broke an 8-game losing streak by defeating the Mariners 7-5 in 16 innings in a strange game at Safeco Field in Seattle. That game was scoreless through 13 innings. But in the top of the 14th, Chicago scored 5 runs. But in the bottom of the 14th, the Mariners scored 5 runs to tie it again at 5-5, mother of God. Then finally, after 16 full innings, the White Sox won it 7-5. Have a nice week, everybody, and we'll see you right back here on Friday. Till then, be a good sport, stay loose.
Thank you all for watching today. Thank you, Ronnie, for that segment. If you missed anything, remember SSPTV.com and download the Samsung Productions app. We'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.
Watch us online anytime at SSPTV.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.